Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and I haven't done a typal deck for a while, so it was time, and I went through Bloomborough, and the one that I really liked was the Bat Tribal deck. So here we go. Here's Zoraline, Cosmos Caller, one white and black for a 3/3 Bat Cleric, flying and vigilance, and whenever a bat you control attacks, you gain a life. And when Zoraline enters or attacks, you may pay white and black and 2 life and return any non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Yep, we're here for Bat Typal today. And that's what the whole deck is, with a few little extra bits to make sure we've got a way of winning, because bats are good, but they're not quite strong enough to get us there. So here we go with today's deck. Just before we go any further, in real life it's still a little bit expensive at, well, nearly $300, but it's one of the cheaper decks I've done for a while on MTGO, and it does work, and it is quite good fun, but it's only sort of 18 tickets on MTGO, so it's worth having a look at it from that point of view, if nothing else. So let's go for this and see what we got. So obviously Zoraline is there, then we start with the bats, and we've got 34 creatures, most of which are bats. So Blightkeeper comes first, sacrifice it. Target opponent loses 4, gain 4 for 8 mana. Expensive, but it's a 1/1 bat at the end of the day, so it's here. Changeling Outcast is technically a bat. Yeah, we'll go with that. Can't block and can't be blocked, so you're always going to get through for your life game once you've got Zoraline in play. Vampire Bats, old school from 10th edition. Flying, you can pump it up. You can pay it twice if you want to make it a 2/1. So a little bit of mana investment, but it's still a bat. And you can still just attack with it as 0/1 to gain a life if you need the life. Bear that in mind. The Basilica Screecher has the Extort ability, which is quite nice in this deck. 1/2 for a 2 mana flyer, another bat. We have got Blood Artist here because I think our creatures will die, so we might as well make sure we get a little bit of life when they do die. Same with Cruel Celebrant. Dies, each opponent loses 1, we gain 1. A little bit better than the Blood Artist. Deep Cavern Bat, flying and lifelink. Enter the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand, exile a non-land card from it until it leaves the play. So a little bit of control, mucking around people's hands. Ellis Ilkor, Sadistic Pilgrim, gives us life when creatures enter, and then whenever a creature we control dies, everyone loses 1. Nice. Essence Channeler. Let's get it right, shall we? 2/1 for 2 mana. As long as you've lost life this turn, it has flying and vigilance, and when you gain life you get to put a +1/+1 on it, and when it dies put its counters on target creature you control. Nice, like this one from Bloomborough, good fun. Ghastly Gloomhunter, comes into play, flying, lifelink for 2 mana, and then if it was kicked we can put a couple of +1/+1 counters on it. A little bit expensive at 6 mana for a 3/3 with flying and lifelink, so it's probably not going to happen that often unless you're desperate. Gurmag Swiftwing, flying, first strike and haste. Okay. Life Creed Duru comes in from Bloomborough as well because I've been having fun with this in drafts. Creature enters the battlefield under control, we gain a life. Metallic Mimic again is technically a bat, so it makes all our bats bigger when it comes in when we cast them. Starscape Cleric, Offspring, nice if we can do it. This creature can't block. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life, which is lovely if you can do the Offspring cost. And this is one of the few cheap bats that I would suggest you hold on to. You've got the 5 mana to do the Offspring as well. Zulaport Cutthroat, everyone loses 1, gains, and you gain 1 when the things die. Ethros, God of Passage. I kind of figured there'd be a god for bats. I thought it might be Ethros, so he does appear. Oh, they appear, I should say. Whenever another creature you control dies, return it unless someone pays 3. Chances are people will just let you have your bats back, so they're not that powerful. They won't let you have Aria first of lock throwing back though, because that just drains them all day long. Courier Bat enters the battlefield, and if you gained life this turn, return 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, which is actually really useful. So hold this off until you really do need to get something back that's been killed off that's really useful. Denthor, the ruling steward, is here. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died, you get a token, and you can sack a creature to let everyone lose 1 and gain 1 for 2 mana. Drana's Emissary, when at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 1, you gain 1. Yep, like that. That's fine. No, it's not a bat, but it still flies, so yeah. Might be there flying around with Zoraline, I suppose. Foundry Screecher gets +1/+0 as long as you control an artifact, so chances are you're going to have a 3/1 flyer in the air most of the time when we get there. Malakir Familiar, flying and Death Touch. Death Touch is always fun. on any sort of creature. It's always good. And whenever you gain life, you get +1/+1 until the end of turn. So you can make it quite big with this deck. Marauding Blight Police here. We gain some life, people lose one. Moonrise Cleric. Had to have this one in as well from Bloomburrow. Gain another one, but when you attack, you gain a life. And with Zoraline, you gain 2 life. Yeah, alternate shock. The complete opposite of shock with both of these in play. Fun. Moonstone Harbinger is also in. Whenever you gain or lose life during your turn, bats you control get +1/+0 and gain Death Touch until the end of turn. Yes, it only triggers once a turn, but the +1/+0 and Death Touch really does mean your bats get through a lot of the time. Screeching Bat, we can transform it into the vampire if we want to. Personally, I prefer to keep it as a 2/2 flyer. Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. Yeah, whenever you gain life, the target opponent loses that much life. We've got the whole thing in here. Yes, the other 2 cards you're thinking would be here are here, and they're coming up shortly. Bartisan Bats, just a 3/1 flyer for 4 mana. Expensive, but it was another bat, and I wanted to get as many bats in to keep it typal as possible. Bloodhunter Bat enters the battlefield. If target player loses 2, you gain 2. Yeah, that's right. Mirkwood Bats, whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses 1 life. Yeah, got a little bit of way of doing that, but nothing major. But it's still a bat, and it had to be here, didn't it? Yeah, wouldn't be a bat deck if you weren't playing Mirkwood, would it? Realistically, be even less of a bat deck. Oh, we have to put this up to here for a minute. If we weren't playing Alcazar's Deepest Betrayal, yeah, doubles up our 37th land as well. Flying Lifelink. When it attacks, each opponent discards a card. For each opponent who can't draw a card, whenever an opponent discards a land, you get a bat. And when it dies, returns to the battlefield, tapped and transformed under its control. And then you get to the Temple of the Dead bit. So it's all good fun. From there, we go to Glide Dive Duro. When it enters, each opponent loses 2, you gain 2. I don't mind this one as a 3 mana, 5 casting cost one because of the life gain we get and the life loss we cause. Starseer Mentor also comes in from Bloomburrow. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained or lost life, target opponent loses 3. And let's say sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. Nice way of getting, people. There's lots of things people can chuck away in Commander. I'm not arguing that, but they've still got to do it, and it's a 3/5 with Vigilance, so it's pretty good. And finally, there's the other version of Athros, the Shroud Veiled is here. As long as your devotion to white or black is less than 7, it isn't a creature. We know that. At the beginning of your end step, put a coin counter on another target creature. Whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. Bear in mind, you can put the coin counters on your opponent's creatures, not just yours. Does help. Few spells, not too many. Return from Extinction, because from our MH3, I want to say, return 2 creature cards that share a type from your graveyard to your hand. So a nice way of getting back our bats or some of our vampires that I've just mentioned. Adadeem's Awakening is our 36th land in the deck, or we can return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that have a different converted mana costs of X or less. Nice way of reanimating everything. Damnation also does the trick of controlling the board for us. Patriarch's Bidding's kind of key though, because we can just go bats. Yes, people return everything else they control, but hey, it gives us a way of getting things back from our graveyard if we need to. However, the better wrath for this deck, because we're playing a typal deck, is Kindred Dominance. 5 and double black, choose a creature type, destroy all creatures that aren't of the chosen type. Thank you very much. I will have my bats. I'll probably have my gods in play, and yeah, I will be happy. Artifact wise, it's ramping a few extra bits. So Elixir of Immortality shuffles our whole graveyard into our library if things go pear shaped. Then ramp with Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Charcoal Diamond, Jet Medallion, I class as ramp, Marble Diamond, Pearl Medallion, Marble Diamond, Pearl Medallion, all ramp. Talisman of Hierarchy is also ramp, obviously. Icon of Ancestry makes our bats a little bit bigger and gives us a way of finding some across the top of our library if we need to. Maskwood Nexus means that all of our creatures are bats. So if we have this in play, things get very good for us, very happy, so we can just attack with everything and gain such a stupid amount of life, it's ridiculous. And then we get to create some shapeshifter creature tokens that are bats. Nice, like it. Vanquisher's Banner. Creatures of the chosen type get +1/+1, so we choose bats, obviously. And whenever you cast a creature spell of the chosen type, we get to draw a card. the last two artifacts here are kind of important for the deck, so bear that in mind. Enchantment wise, Bastion of Remembrance, we do the gain and drain. Black Market Connections, just to give us a little bit of card draw or treasure if we need it. Etchings of the Chosen, obviously gets chosen as bats, and we sacrifice a creature of the chosen type. The target creature becomes indestructible, so it gives us a way to protect Zoraline. Monologue Tax, I've decided I've enjoyed this a little bit more recently. Expect to see this in more of my white decks as things go along, but whenever an opponent casts a second spell each turn we get a treasure token, so people don't mind this quite as much as Smothering Tithe, so bear that in mind. But they've got to cast 2 spells, so. But it's Commander we're playing, so it does happen regularly. Path of Bravery just means our life total gives all our creatures +1/+1, and whenever we attack with one or more creatures we gain life equal to the number of attacking creatures, so pumps up our bats a bit more. Phyrexian Arena for a bit of card draw. I'm not too worried about the life loss with what we'll be gaining. Radiant Destiny, we choose bats obviously, and then hopefully we'll get the blessing very quickly to make sure they all have a vigilance. Court of Ardale gives us the monarchy, and then we get to return things at the beginning of our turn, mana value 3 or less from our graveyard to our hand, which a lot of our bats are under 3, but if we're the monarch it gets to go to the battlefield, which is better. Court of Lochthane, beginning of upkeep, exile top card of a target opponent's library. Play it as long as it remains exiled, and then mana of any type can be spent to cast it. If you're the monarch until the end of turn, you may cast that spell without paying its mana costs. Nice. Campaign of Vengeance, whenever a creature you control attacks, defending player loses 1 and you gain 1. Exquisite Blood, Sanguine Bond. I had to have the little mini combo here. We do need some kind of way, the bats aren't the best way of winning a game, I'm going to be honest about it. However, yeah, you're playing a black-white life gain deck, people are going to be expecting these, so just be aware of it. Last two, Virtual Loyalty, to pump all our bats up once we get it in play. The Knight token, don't know many knights who like bats. If you do know any knights that like bats, let me know in the comments down below, appreciate it. But there's also Virtue of Persistence, just so we can give something -3/-3, then start bringing back things from graveyards to our control. We have 35 lands in here, along with our couple of double-faced cards, so all the black and white lands you would expect. Again, I've been very good. No Reliquary Tower, no Temple of the False God. Everything else is here. We have got the lands that let us, name bats to make sure that we can have some extra way of getting those bats into play. And that is it for today. That is my take on Zoraline, the Cosmos Caller. Like I say, it's typal deck today, just for a bit of a change. Haven't done one for a while. I really fancy doing the bat one, so hey, it's happened. I hope you've enjoyed it. There's not sure where we are now. I've been saying for the last couple of videos, some more recording these on the same day. I'm at 481 subscribers here on YouTube. If you could hit the subscribe button and help me out to get me to my 500 target, I'd really appreciate it. 19 away. I'm getting very close. I can smell it, I can taste it, but we're getting there. So if you can help out and do it, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see me play this, I will be on stream. There is a link to my stream down below. I am at work. I do work somewhere where I have to work late occasionally for a couple of weeks each year, and those 2 weeks are coming up, so I'm not sure there's going to be Thursday streams this week, but there will definitely be Sunday afternoon streams, so you'll be able to see me play them then. But if you hit the button down below, you'll know when I go live. But for now, thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with one more deck for the week, and there's a stream replay on Friday, so look forward to that, and I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye.